Hello friends, so this is going to be my second video. So the topic I have chosen is 10 or more than 10 mistakes which the Linux newbies make while they are actually working on Linux, or they are transitioning from moving from Windows to Linux. So the first so before that, hello friends, this is Rahul Srivastav. This is my new Linux channel on YouTube. It is called Linux My Friend. Please do subscribe to this channel and share. So starting from the first mistake, or the common mistake which the Linux newbies make are assuming that they are working on Windows. So when you are moving from Windows to Linux, you don't have to expect that everything on Windows will work as expected on Linux. So there are going to be lot of differences when you move from Windows to Linux. The second most common mistake which the new users make are trying to make the exe file work on Linux. Exe file or the executable files on Windows will not work on Linux, so you have to make it separate. Linux have a different executable format, and which we are going to discuss maybe in future, or if you want to search, you can go on Google and search how to execute a file on Linux. So this is also a common mistake where you try to execute an executable .exe file from Windows on Linux. Now, the third mistake which I see most commonly done by Linux newbies are choosing the wrong distribution. So when you come on Linux operating system, you have to understand what are your expectations. Do you want to use it as server operating system, or you want to use it as desktop operating system? So based on that, you have to choose the distribution. By distribution, I mean there are different flavors of Linux. There are different companies who are making their own Linux, like Red Hat, and then SUSE, then Fedora, Ubuntu. So you have to choose according to your usage. So based on that, you have to understand which Linux version you want to use, and then you have to start using that Linux version. Now there is another most common mistake which the Linux users, the Linux newbies do, sending OpenOffice documents to Microsoft Office users in their default format. So you have to change the format if you want to send the OpenOffice documents to the Microsoft Office users, because that is going to be the default. Okay. By default, the XLS or XLSX version is not supported by OpenOffice. So you have to find out what supports in OpenOffice and have to choose what version or what extension is supported in Microsoft Office users and make it compatible and send it across. Now, as you might be knowing, if you have started using Linux operating system, is very commonly used on command line. So not very much used by graphical user. Now we have a large audience who also use it for graphical, from the graphical interface like Ubuntu, but still there are many things which we do very fast on Linux using command line. So don't avoid command line, try to learn command line, and it will help you definitely. Now when you have moved from Windows operating system to Linux operating system, there is another frustration which comes in picture, is that people try to give up very quickly. They try to see that their things are not working as expected as they were working on Windows operating system, and they do get frustrated and they think of quitting, or they think of uninstalling Linux and installing Windows operating system. So as I told you before, choose your distribution properly so that you are able to make this transition more more robust, okay, and more friendly. So you will be able to understand. If you want to use it from server's perspective, you will be mostly doing it through command line. If you want to do it from graphical user's perspective, I would suggest try different versions, try different flavors. Whichever suits you best, you should try using that. So don't give up too quickly. Try to use it for some time, and definitely you will feel the difference. Um, Moving to another most common mistake is that if you see um, the file system hierarchy on Windows operating system, it is very different from the Linux operating system. So don't try to think that your C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, or the hierarchy within the Windows operating system is going to be the same within Linux. It is very different. You may try to see, or you may try to do some Google searches, and you may find what are the actual uh, file system hierarchy in Linux. You will understand it, and it is very easy to understand file system hierarchy in Linux. It's good that when you are coming from Windows operating system to Linux, you understand that, and the transition will be better. Now, when you move from a Windows operating system, most of the times what I have seen within my friend circle or within the users who use it for the daily purpose, daily use, they skip updates. They don't try to update their operating system as frequently as it is needed. One of the most common reason is that every update requires a reboot, but that is not the same case in Linux. So I would recommend that you keep updating your Linux operating system. Yes, it would require a reboot at certain time, and it will let you know when it wants to do a reboot. But reboot is not very common thing to do on Linux operating system, and keeping your system update would help you with lot of bugs, with lot of vulnerabilities, which do come on Linux operating system. Okay. Now, when we try using Linux operating system, most of the time, um, when we try doing it from the first time itself, we try logging as root and doing all the administration work, and become so familiar starting using root that we forget moving to a different user and try to do everything as root user or administrator user. That is not a very good practice. As you are doing in Windows, don't try to be an administrator and do all your work. Try to become a normal user, and you can still perform all of your work, whatever your office works are, connecting to internet, browsing, surfing, everything can be done using a normal user. So try to use the normal user as much as possible. That will be really helpful to you. Now, coming to the last point, what I wanted to discuss, and this is going to be very important. You don't have to ignore the security when it is when it is Linux operating system. Um, I have I have used Linux for about um, 20 years now, um, but I have never seen a Linux operating system having a virus. But yes, I have seen vulnerabilities. I have seen vulnerabilities reported for Linux operating system. So, and I have never seen a worm or a virus or being hacked situation coming to Linux operating system. That is true, but that does not mean that I should ignore security on Linux operating system. So what I would recommend is whenever you get a security update or a bug fix update, please go ahead and update your system. Don't mess with the security. Don't ignore security. Security is crucial regardless of what operating system you use. So security is going to be a very important part. Alright friends, so this was my second video, and I wanted to make you aware about the common mistakes which Linux newbies make. please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'll be making for more videos, short videos, but yeah, more videos on many other topics which are around Linux. Thank you. Thanks for watching.